Hi, welcome back. Well, I'm welcoming myself back to my own channel. I've been away for quite a while. I'm apologising now because, yeah, I started visual animation and then I did loads of tutorials, and thank you for watching them and commenting and doing all of that good stuff. I then got a little bit, I don't know, I wanted something different. I wanted something else. I wanted to say, right, I've learned a lot of animation techniques using Cinema 4D. What now? And the obvious thing, after looking at a few videos online that were doing really well, was to go, I think I can do that. Can I do that as well? You know, make my own like animation channel rather than just teach it and probably get not many views. On the long form videos on YouTube, you don't get a lot of views unless you're, you know, Mr. Beast, someone like that who's very successful. Yeah, you have a few, and it gradually builds over a very, very long time. Now, what I did is I jumped on this, you know, creating short videos, not long form, but the shorts that YouTube offer, and they're only about 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds long. I'll go through a few in a minute, but the idea here was to, you know, I love animation, so I thought if I can just make a very, very short video, because I had a bit of a problem in the past, which I'll go on to probably later on or another video. But the shorts have turned out to be the way forward. Now, for this particular style that I've got here, and the audience that YouTube has pushed it towards, something they do, you know, you don't make videos that you want, you make them for an existing audience. Okay, so I'll go into all this detail probably in my membership patron kind of area, right? But for now, I'm just going to do a kind of gloss over everything that's happened and why I'm in the position I am now, why I'm doing this and not so much of the other you know, tutorial side of things. So if we just look roughly at what I've got here, so I've called it Kaboom Box, right? There is a story here where I've kind of designed it over time to fit something that worked, right? So you don't know when you first start doing these videos what style they're going to go down. Is there a strong theme? Is there something you can use here? Because you just don't know if people are watching it. You know, it's no point putting all that effort in and nobody ever watches it. Okay, so you have to learn from trends and things that are happening, how they're viewing it, how long for, what kind of comments, you know, what shares it gets, all of that good stuff. All that data and analytics really adds up to knowing where you should go with your video style. So if you look on here, I've got this, you know, and this probably doesn't relate to you personally, it doesn't relate to me personally, really. This is a style that has come out of where YouTube has sent me, where they've sent me. So my demographic, or my audience, my biggest audience in the world for this is Indonesia, the Philippines, United States, Vietnam, Brazil, that kind of thing. There's no UK here where I'm from. So this is an issue for me, because when I first started making these animations, and if I just click on here where it says oldest, look, these are the first ones I did for my channel. This is I'd say a year and a bit, a year and 3 or 4 months ago, I did this one. Now, some of the themes I had here were based on my, you know, personal kind of likes and things that I like to animate, things that I'm interested in. I started going down that path. Okay, so the very first one is this one, which is, you know, that's my animation of Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, and this was supposed to represent me not playing the guitar very well and Van Halen playing it very well. So it's just that comparison thing. So I thought, I'm going to make videos like this. I'm going to do, this is how things should sound, and this is what they really sound like. Okay, and I thought, oh, that might be an interesting thread to carry on doing animations like that. I did a few ones that weren't like that. Let's have a look. So Let's see if we've got any. We've got Freddie Mercury. Yeah. So when we get to one like this, for example, this is like a, you know, typical British kind of dad on a beach. You know, he's been there too long, and you know, his beer bottle's burnt, a sunburnt mark onto his chest, and his glasses on his eyes. Now, that kind of humour, you know, playing the Kinks, sunny afternoon, and I've got another one here, you know, Life's a Beach, you know, where he's with his wife and she's not happy because he's potentially looked at that nice girl that's walked past. Has he? No, but anyway, he got in trouble anyway. What else have we got? Yeah, there's Happy Hour here, look, where Dad's seeing double and he's going around all over the place. And then there was a clue there, which I'll go on to in a sec. So I started doing this. The channel was called Just a Dad, and it was going to be this guy here with a little white in his hair, and that looks a little bit like me. I'm a bit white, so I thought I'd base it on myself, and it would be some animations about life, you know, and with the kids and the wife and all that kind of stuff, right? So I started putting these out, and they didn't get anywhere. I didn't get any views. You know, if I look back here, look, this is, bearing in mind that these have been here for over a year, you know, a year and 3 or 4 months, right? 21,000 views, 27, 21, 23, 15, 20, right? That's the first line, right? So that was, these are over a year ago, right? And these are not, I don't think these are getting any views at all now because they've been there so long. So 25, let's have a look at generally what these numbers are. 15, 33, 36, 20, 25, 30, 20, right, 18, you know, that's the one I really liked, and it got 18,000, 34, 18 again, 36, 84, right? And then look at this here, 3.2 million, right? So you can probably see a bit of a thread that's happened at this point here. So this is where I started, and it was a little bit messy. It was all over the place. There's a few different styles. You know, there wasn't a really consistent of anything. I was just giving everything a bit of a go, really. And I got into a bit of a style with these, where I started to put, you know, the same background, the text on them. So I started to develop a style. And then the Barbie movie came out. Okay, now whether you're into these big film releases or, you know, or not. I mean, I wasn't particularly interested in doing anything to do with Barbie. I'm not, you know, I don't have any association with anything to do with like Barbie dolls or anything. But the film came out. It was a big hit. It was different. It was visually strong. I went and saw it, you know, with my wife just to see what all the fuss was about. And Oppenheimer, you know, both out at the same time. And I just thought, oh, okay. Maybe I could do some Barbie things, you know, because it's out right now. You know, it's trending, so I'll just try a few. So I just messing around. I was doing budget Barbie, you know, like what Barbie would look like if she wasn't, you know, portrayed as this kind of perfect kind of woman figure here, you know, with all the power. You know, she was somebody a little bit different. And then her, you know, this next one was about her control over the men. You know, so Ken's all sad, sat in the back, he's not allowed to drive. So I started to go down this kind of Barbie idea at this point and just trying. And because I'd only have 20,000 views, what was the most? 36. I don't know if I got these at the time. These may have added up over the year. But this one jumped. When I put this one on, we got 36 quite quickly here, and then 84. And I thought, right, something's happening. There's been a much bigger jump here, and I could only assume it's because of the film and because of using a name on here, you know, an actual brand. So we've got Barbie as a brand here and a representation of a character of Barbie. And then I did another one, and this one was really from the film. This was when Ken is trying to get Barbie's attention on the beach, and he's waving, and she kind of walks past. You know, she's not really that interested in him. You know, it's a very strong character. So because there's a strong character in Barbie and Ken as a brand and how the dynamics would be between these characters, it played into doing these animations, these shorts. You know, they're called shorts. They're only like say 5 to 10 seconds long, but they're just little snippets of moments from the film, moments that I've added and embellished a little bit for my, you know, my own humour in here. And there was this huge interest jump from these, you know, 36, 80,000, 3.2 million. Now I remember when this one, I'd launched it, it didn't happen straight away. After a few weeks you saw the almost a vertical line of viewing interest, you know, on this analytical graph. I might be able to show you that if I go into the studio analytics of this, but that was a defining moment on this channel. And yeah, it was vertical, this line, and these views, 100, 200,000, 300, 400, 500, they were just going. And it was very, very exciting to have created something very simple with a few character shapes in Cinema 4D, using the iconic look and feel of that film, which was on at the time, and it captured something. There was an audience out there, obviously, that YouTube was showing this to. So it shows it to a test audience. If that catches on and people look at it and they comment on it, it then goes further, okay? And they promote it more and they push it further afield, so you get more people see it. And I think the timing was right for that one because of the film and just the way it was quite simple in its design, where I just had these two characters. There was not a lot of confusion going on. It was just a dynamic between two characters. So I'll just play it just to show you what's happening here. Look. You've basically just got the character of Ken and I thought, just for a bit of comedy value, what I'll do is I'll have her walk past in some dress that's about to fall off, and then he's besotted by her and he looks round and his shorts fall down. Now there's no reason why they fell down, but I just thought it's a bit of comedy, isn't it? You know, his shorts fell down. Maybe it's in shock, and maybe it's an embarrassing moment, isn't it? You know, he's trying to impress, and the last thing you want at that point is your shorts to fall down. But I did that and I just got, well, I got 403 comments, 33,000 likes, 3.2 million views. You know, this all happened over a month or so. You know, this was really hot and everything, right? And so all the other ones that I'd made, they looked a bit drab, I suppose, in the colour, didn't they? There wasn't any theming going on here. I started to do it, but then this came in and it started to use the pink and the blue, the iconic, my version of Barbie and Ken, which are very simple characters that we'll go into in another video, how to make these. And then I did a couple more. You know, these are scenes from the film when they're doing their skating scene. And then I did some other stuff. You know, I thought it's not all about Barbie. I will do, you know, Star Wars and some guy Trump in here. And then again, the views at the time didn't do anything like this 3 million that I got on this one. They stayed at 20, 30, 50, maybe these have gone up, like I say, over time. And then so I thought, you know what I'll do? I'm going to do another Barbie one, the same as the time I got the 3 million. I'm going to do that one again, but I'm going to put the camera the other way around, right? So it's going to be, why did his shorts fall down? So it's answering my first short, you know, the one that did well. So I shot it from the other way, and the answer was, as he waved, he's breathing in, and then he pushed his belly out because he couldn't hold it any longer because she'd walked past and he was trying to impress her, and then his shorts fell at that point. And then what that's doing is it's saying it's answering this original one that I put out. So then that one, 4.1 million views. Okay, it beat the original one. So by this time I had a formula. Okay, it's about getting it's about getting a formula that resonates with an audience on YouTube. So obviously there was a formula here. It was the Barbie theme, but it's the way I did it with the shorts. I then came back and I explained another version of, you know, why the shorts fell. That then went viral and it took off and it changed everything about the way I looked at my site. It wasn't just posting some videos that, you know, like a cartoon series I might see somewhere, and I decide to turn it into a video, pop it on here. You know, there was a definite structure now that I could think, right, something is resonating out there. It's being shown to these people. There's a bit of a story with shorts falling down. They like that. There's a bit of comedy there. It wasn't sophisticated comedy. It wasn't something that was UK based only, you know, like this Sunny Afternoon one burning. It was more universal for, you know, the world to laugh at, I imagine, because it's, you know, they're well-known characters that can be seen in lots of countries. Shorts falling down is universal humour. So that's what I would say here. That is a real lesson there, is to not base it on your very niched likes, you know, like doing a video about Van Halen playing guitar. You know, it's very niche. No one really, apart from people that really know about that subject, are going to watch that in their millions. Okay, they're going to watch Barbie film, shorts falling down, something around that dynamic between these two people, something like that, right? So that was a turning point, an absolute game-changing turning point, was that film release and basing a style around that. So obviously I didn't stick religiously to that, but there was a, you know, again after that one I then went back to a dad sawing a tree branch, because at this point it was still called just a dad. Yeah, so he's I mean, this is the humour that I like, right? This idea that he's up there, he's got the ladder on the wrong side of the tree, he don't want any advice from his wife, and obviously he crashes down. Now I thought that I was still championing that style, because I still, you know, from the UK and some, I just love that style, you know, I really wanted to do that. But it was, every time I did it, you know, I went from 4 million there to 26,000 there. Never got any more than that. Right, so then I returned to putting another Ken one in, not quite so good that one, and I did one about a yellow car and bullying, and then old people listening to music opposed to. So I was still trying to keep that idea there, but there was little pieces of this Barbie thing. But in the back of my head it was going, you can't just have a Barbie channel, right? This is just a dad and it's different kinds of animations. And I thought maybe that has kick-started the channel with these big numbers, and now everything will start to be looked at. But it doesn't work like that, because these shorts are seen in isolation. They're not coming to your site and seeing it all as a pattern. They're seeing shorts in a shorts feed. So they're in isolation. They're not connected to anything. So it's being shown there. Does that excite anybody, right? So when I started going back to this other style again, there was no interest at all until I started to do the Barbie ones again. Now, they're not as big as that. I never really got anything big like that for a while. And then I got lucky around Halloween. I did this kind of, but still using the Barbie and Ken. So once I'd got those as characters and the dynamic of using the Barbie and Ken kind of character, where you've got a strong woman and the bloke's a bit like, you know, secondary. If you see the film, you'll know what I mean. He kind of has to look at the wall, you know, he's not, you know. So it's kind of portraying these two and the tensions between them. So I did a version here which was, you know, zombie Barbie, you know, zombie or Barbie zombie bites Ken, you know, so it's all about Barbie, and zombies were quite good when I started introducing that. And then I had this amazing one, Barbie zombie dolls while stocks last. Right, now this is another big, massive turning point. So at this stage, It was still using Barbie. Barbie, you know, I was still using this as quite an obvious brand name on here. The zombie thing had done quite well for me, so I carried on with a few more Barbie kind of zombie themes at this point. Around, it would have been around, you know, Halloween in the, you know, well, Halloween in US and UK. I don't know if anywhere else is the same, but yeah, I launched it around October. It initially didn't do anything. It initially only got a few thousand, and it lay dormant until, and this is what I still don't understand how this happened, for about 5 months after Halloween. So it would have been sort of March, April time of the following year. This went super viral. Right? It just went like vertical line, views going out of control. Where did that come from? The thing was just dormant. It was laying there. You know, so at the time I thought it was going to do well, which would have been Halloween. Here, it felt right to have the zombie stuff then. It all went a bit flat. It went into Christmas, into New Year. That's a long time after a video posts for it to then pick up that much traction. So, see, YouTube's, this whole thing is quite confusing when you first do it. Your videos are all over the place. You've got all this, can't really work out why you're getting big views and then no views. It's obviously just how the system works, how it picks it up, who engages with it, and then if it gets engagement, it runs, you know, it promotes it to more people, and that's kind of all I can think. The algorithm is very key here. So anyway, that absolutely started smashing it. But again, I'll go back to just doing a few more, but these are Barbie, and then at this point there's some Skibidi Toilet stuff that's doing really well, so I brought a bit of that in. I've got 1 million, nearly 1.7 on that one, so that was good, but it's using the Barbie thing again, so it's the Barbie against these other forces. So not just Ken now, we've got like other things coming in. So more kind of Halloween, then we get into Christmas. Got a good one that did well here, which is an ASMR. So ASMR kind of talking in that nice voice. I did Barbie and Ken again, but she's got it a bit wrong there because she's got bad breath, so he's kind of reacting. So it came from that first Barbie and Ken. I kind of kept adding it back in with other things, like with Halloween and zombies, and then with Skibidi Toilet, and then ASMR, because I know ASMR is quite a big deal online. There's a huge amount of views with people eating, mukbang or something I think it's called, isn't it? I'm not an expert in that at all, but I've just seen where a few trends have been happening, and I've just tried to put them in, and yeah, and it did really well. Then tried a few things. Then Christmas for me doesn't do that well, the animations, and they're over with very quickly, aren't they? So be really wary of making strong themes for the year. You know, if you've got like Easter or too much Halloween, too much Christmas, they will date quite quickly, right? You want evergreen content on your site, so I wouldn't recommend, you know, huge amounts of Christmas videos around Christmas, because honestly, the moment that's January, February, you've got a whole site of Christmas. It doesn't look good. So I would tend to steer clear of that and just stick to the theme that your channel is all about. Right, I'm just going to rush forward a little bit here. Right, so I started getting quite a good response to these Hi Barbie, Hi Ken originals, you know, when she walks past. And I put a bit of a spin on it, and I said, right, let's change that character then. Let's have that character start off as Barbie, and then walks past, and then changes into another monster or something, you know, because she's annoyed or something like that. So I went down that path for a while. That's why you can see all these are quite similar, but they're all getting nice big numbers. All right, we're getting, you know, 260,000, 450, you know, consistent. I'm talking now. 470. That one's a bit lower. 498 here, so we're, you know, they're quite nice to have. They're not down at like 10,000. These are up at 200 to 400, 500,000 mark, right? So they're starting to build a lot more now. But Barbie is a key point here still. The Barbie and Ken story is still running through this. It's no longer the story it was from the film. It's taken on some different styles, but it's using those characters. So as you go through, you'll see I haven't really dropped these characters at all. They start to get a little bit more bizarre here, but there's still Barbie and Ken tension going on between these two characters, you see. And some of these are really nice numbers for me. Some of it's dropped. We've got another like nearly 3 million on this one. Again, using like the big version of Barbie called Carby. So she's now introduced into this. So we've got like 3 characters now: Barbie, Ken, and Carby. I then tried a slightly longer one here, which didn't do as well. It's 500,000, but they're just one off. So then a bit of Halloween again came in, so I didn't do too much on that. I just did a little bit there. Then trying to think, right, so we had this nice colour here. I really liked having this very simple blue and pink and just trying to keep everything clean, to see what that would do. And then again, it was a little bit sporadic at this point. There was ones that were getting really high, like this one, 6 million, 1 million, then down at 160,000. You know, so some real dips and jumps going on here. And then at this point, I started looking at this one that got me the most views right back here was this zombie Barbie in a box. Now, if I just show you this quickly, I'll show you what's happening. So what this is it's essentially toy boxes on a shelf in a toy store, stacked up, and then the camera goes along the shelf, and then something happens, like one of them comes alive, right? That was the idea here. So I took that idea. That got me all those views, and I thought, is it because it's Barbie? Is it zombie? Or is it because of that style that I adopted, right? So if you see here, what I did is I started to do a few, right, so there we are there. So if we go forward, there's some boxes here, right? So I started to do another one with boxes. Okay, then I left it for a bit. Then I started bringing in some boxes on here. I've got 2 million on that one. And then I go forward, boxes, 6.4 million, okay? So characters in boxes. This one didn't do so well. And then I left the boxes for a bit, and then I come back to the boxes. I've got 5.8 million. Okay, nearly 1 million on that one, 2.5 million on this one. This one a bit lower, but here, look, 2.2 million. These ones a bit lower. Just trying to think, right, so this was Olympics, I had a little bit of Olympics, and I'm back to the boxes, look, 4.2 million. So these are big numbers, right? This is where the money is, right? So when you've got a channel and you're getting million views, over 1 million views, multiple millions of views, this is where you'll start earning. Okay, so 4.2, 1.2, 1.2, okay, 5.4, 1.4, 1.2. I'm picking out the big ones. Well, obviously there are a few lower ones. You can't really have every one a smash hit every time, but the theme now is starting to, I'm starting to really refine this, okay? And most of it now is taking that box theme of going across the shelf and looking at these characters in boxes, you know, toys in boxes like dolls or whatever, and it gets to a certain one and all hell breaks loose. You know, like there's something wrong in that particular box, like it's a box malformation, a factory mistake or something like that. That's what I decided to do. I thought, you know, there's a theme, there's something to latch onto here. I've still got the Barbie and Ken thing. There's still Barbie written on a lot of these boxes, so you've still got that going on. I'm still using the Barbie character, but she's being kind of dressed in different clothes, she's playing different parts, but Ken is still here and Barbie is still here, right? So that thread carried on through, but the boxes, which made the Barbie original one work for me, I then thought, let's carry on. Let's see if we can use that. Let's see if there's a reason why that worked. And as I started to do them, 1.2, 2.2, 1.2 million, 1.9 million, 2.8 million. Some are lower, but they're still up there near a million. What do we got? 500,000, 5.6 million, 1.5, nearly 2 million, 1.5. So you can see, right? So, so I was doing that, and it was doing really well, much better than it was at the beginning, much better than it was just doing the Barbie. This was another level, you know, where it elevated itself to more views, more consistent views. Things were not dropping hugely down into nothing. There were some quite big numbers here. And then another leap happened, okay, at the point where we nearly got to there. This, now, it doesn't look much different to the others. They're still using boxes like this, lots of themes here with boxes. Now, from this point on, you will probably see another change with the channel, which I still haven't managed to shake off. The change here, I think I was looking at some other people's videos. I saw people using this. I saw the amount of views they were getting. I saw some like model makers that use modeling clay. So it takes a long time to make their stuff. They were picking up on this theme. I saw big numbers around this theme. So I thought, okay, let's go. Let's use Barbie, which is my key right from the beginning. But then let's introduce this other big name character that a lot of people that look at my channel are obviously very interested in, and that is a character called Catnap. Now, Catnap is in a horror franchise game that a lot of kids are playing around the world from something called Poppy Playtime. Now, Catnap is the biggest liked character in that franchise. There's a lot of characters in there, but that one seems to get the most traction. So I thought, okay, I'm going to team Barbie with Catnap. And when I did that, I got 14 million views, right? Not 1 or 2 million, not a few 100,000. This was huge, and this continues to be huge to today. This has been here 3 or 4 months, but it is still the highest viewing video that I have on my channel. They're going through this and it's getting constant views. I then tried, from that point on, I then went, right, I'm sticking with this Poppy Playtime and Barbie connection. So there's a character called Huggy Wuggy, I put that in there. Back to Catnap here, and then you'll see that there's a string of Catnap critters, claws, and you know, so the channel's changed a bit again, but it's still using this idea of like the boxes and going along the line and something happens in one of the boxes. I've taken that a step further and I've started using other things, like this is oh, what's this, a cable car, you know, so the cable car that goes along. So you've got number 1 here, it goes along, and you get number 2, number 3, and it always happens in box number 4, right? That is the cursed box. Every time we go along the line, there is something wrong with box 4. So I'm going the other way now. This is the latest stuff. So if I just go back down to where we were, look, we're right up to date now, and all of the things that are happening here, apart from the odd one, is Catnap. It's horror, game, franchises, and because my audience has been pitched out at Indonesia, Philippines, Brazil, America, Vietnam, all these places, there's obviously a lot of viewing, or a lot of playing of this kind of game. There's a lot of interest out there, right? So I didn't know that when I started doing my very first video here with Van Halen and, you know, sunbathing and all of this. I had no idea that there's a game franchise called Poppy Playtime, Five Nights at Freddy's, Garten of Banban, all of this stuff that all these kids are watching massively throughout the world. There was a huge audience out there where they're watching this stuff and soaking it up, right? I had no idea. When I made this stuff, and even with the Barbie, you know, film coming out, I had no idea that this was going to eventually be where I was going to start pulling in these big numbers. Yeah, so 14 million. The next one that did well after that one, 7.5 million. You see, same idea, copied it across, changed things a little bit, but really, really big numbers again. 1.1, 2.1, 1.1, half a million, nearly a million. It's slowed a little bit in recent times, and I'm trying to work out why. But I'm again, this is just where how the site can elevate you, and then it drops, and then it elevates and drops, and it kind of does that all the way through. So this is just, you get bits of lulls, and then you'll get one of these pick up and bring all the others up with it again. So this is where I am at the moment. Still exploring all of this Catnap Barbie stuff and seeing what else is coming up next. Now, the whole reason for making this big video, and there's probably a lot here, and there's a lot to take in, is you can do this yourself from home with a bit of direction from me. I will show you how to create a character, and you can, obviously your characters can be any characters. How to make them look a little bit different, you know, give them a bit of identity, come up with some sort of theming that we have for this one. There's so many themes that you can have, and you can create a channel and you can give it some strong themes. Now, you can see that mine's changed over the year and a half. It's changed to quite a lot of different styles until I got to this one. It will change again, you know, in 6 months' time. There will be a whole new load of stuff on here making millions of views, which I don't know of yet. So it's exciting that it's always developing and always changing to what trends are happening. But you have to know sometimes where this stuff is, and what I do is I just do a lot of research on YouTube of other animation channels and modelers and people that are putting a lot of time and effort into their videos. What is their subject matter in these fields? And this, you know, you see a theme, you see something that comes up that people are exploiting and getting a lot from it, and that's a way to do this, rather than just work in a vacuum and go, this is what I like, you know, these are my interests, I'm going to base my channel on what I like and my interests. That's fine, but you'll get a very small demographic for that. If you want to make money using this, you have to be prepared to make videos that you probably wouldn't normally want to make, subjects that are huge and profitable. You know, I can animate. It took me just as much time, or probably even longer, to animate this sequence with Van Halen with guitar and me with the guitar and putting the two together. Maybe it took me longer to make that one than it does to make these ones, right? Because I've got a pattern now and a style that I can follow and an idea that I can run through all of this. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do this on the next few videos. We're going to go through how to create these characters and how to make them look quite nice for you, you know, a little bit of interest in each one of them. You know, don't go for a boring character that everybody does. Come up with your own kind of look, give it a bit of identity, but we can work through that. So if you're interested in that, this could be a profitable way of you making money. In the next video, I'm going to dive into showing you my studio, YouTube studio, and how the money comes in for this. You know, all, you know, the benchmarks we need to reach, and then how much money do you actually get per short, and this kind of thing. I'm going to go through all of that in the next video. Hope that's been of some use, a little bit of insight into where and why I've gone off from making tutorials, because you know, soon as this becomes profitable, you can't help but just get absorbed more and more into it, you know, because that's where the money is. The money is not there, it's here, right? So that's why I've been here, you see. Hope that makes sense. I hope you want to follow this journey. You could finish up with something that works like this. You know, it takes a while. Some people have taken 10 years or more to monetize their channels and get somewhere and get big numbers. But, you know, this has happened relatively quickly. So this may help you to do some of the stuff that I've been showing you here on your journey, on your channel. And it will eliminate a lot of the problems that I had, a lot of the mistakes, wrong paths, come back, try this, and that's what it's all about really, isn't it? But if I can then say, here is a fast track for you, you don't have to go down all these wrong paths and get it wrong. I will show you how to do it properly, or what works for me. You know, there's a lot of audience out there in the world that need videos, and YouTube will send your stuff to them, and if they do that and it starts to do what it's done for me, then you'll be getting money, and the money will be good. This is not $10 here and there. This is decent money, okay, which I will show you in the next videos that are coming up. Okay, my name is Mike German from Visual Animation, or Kaboom Box, which we're probably it's going to be Kaboom Box as the animation channel here, but it's still Visual Animation for my showing you how all this is all put together. I'll speak to you real soon. My name is Mike German. I've spoken too much. I need some coffee. It's probably cold now, but I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.